GM Adrian.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday. I'm very excited. We have a very exciting Friday. Like, very exciting. So,
Today is not going to be a chill day.
no, not even a little bit. This is going to be less chill than actually playing Crypto the game. Because, speaking of, right now we have, we're going to start in just a minute. We're going to start with some Farcaster news. And then we have Tim, TLDR, coming on from Bracket and Bracky fame. Very excited to talk about that. Then at 11 a.m., we have this excitingness, which I'm super excited about. And you can't even be there. And it's good because you can't fit on the stage.
It's insane. For a number of reasons, I can't be there for one reason. But the amount of deep FOMO I have that I can't even be in the live chat while it's happening. I'm so sad.
It's going to be really fun. We're going to be talking about Crypto the game, doing the whole breakdown of like the Farcaster perspective with Ted, Evan, Poe, Christopher, Erica, Mick Bain, Big Spite, Humpty, and Snacks, and me. And I'm very excited about that. That's going to be at 11 a.m. And then we've got poker at 7 p.m. tonight, little poker. So, but before that, we got to do some news. So we're going to do a quick little intro, and we'll be back in 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. And GM Farcaster, it is Friday, March 21st, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news. Start your day, and then Tim from Bracket will be joining us to talk about all things March Madness and Bracket game and all the things that I'm really excited. So that's going to be really fun. All right, let's dive in because we just don't even have time to Babylon. We just don't. But actually, one quick thing. My mother's down to do a market report.
Oh, excellent.
Just kidding. We'll figure that out. Maybe in the summer. No, I didn't say it to her, and she's like, "Oh, sure." I'm like, okay. She doesn't know how to do that. And then one other thing, you and I were talking yesterday about our website, and we were looking at other websites and their styles. And we were looking at Giggly Squad, which I love Giggly Squad. And I was thinking about it afterwards. Like we're not them, and there's no way we can pull it off. But we should try to recreate the photos on their website because I think it would be ridiculous. Because they're just super cool.
Okay.
Millennial chicks, and we are just not. And I think it would be so funny. So if
you
want
to laugh, website right now.
If you go to the website right now and you want to laugh, picture us in these poses, and you will. I started cracking up just thinking about it because I'm like, that would be so ridiculous.
I'm so sure people don't come to GM Farcaster because we are cool.
No,
they come because we give practical, informative Farcaster news.
Yeah,
and let's stay in our lane. Let's stay in our lane.
Yeah, we cannot pull this off. We cannot.
But if we could, which one would you be?
Oh, I would definitely be Hannah, because you literally look like Paige, the one on the left.
Okay, but go up. I don't know their names. Go up. I just want to know in the outfits.
Which black. One? You would be black, and I would be this other.
Okay, correct.
There's no way I could wear that outfit, first of all. But
as I'm in, my costume is all black at all times.
Yeah, this is you, very cool sunglasses, and this is me, tongue out. Yeah, that's our vibes. But also it just cracked me up thinking about it because we are just not. They are so seriously cool, and we were just not. So it's really funny.
I was cool in my 20s. I was cool in my 20s.
I mean, we're cool for our age at this point.
It's different. I actually am.
Yeah.
Like I am.
We think we are. Really not.
No,
But anyway,
objectively, I am.
I forgot to tell you that because as I was looking at that again, I was like, oh my God. Oh no, this is his first time turning into GM Farcaster. We should.
Yeah, we're not usually this cringy, Mike Dottie.
Okay.
But thank you and welcome. We're going to do some Farcaster news.
We are going to do some Farcaster news. We have to start. We have been recapping Crypto the Game, and the season winner is none other than our friend Ted Lasso. Ted Not Lasso, sorry. Ted Not Lasso. I usually just call her Ted. I know her as Ted. So it was really fun to watch that. I had put out like how I felt, like what I was thinking. I was really happy to see her win. I was happy to see somebody who is in the Farcaster ecosystem win. It was great. We are going to do a whole recap later today, 11 a.m. if you missed that in the beginning. So we're going to be back with Ted, with Evan, with Poe, Christopher, Erica, Mick Bain, Big Spite, Humpty, Snacks, and me, and we will break it all down. And I'm going to spill some tea. I'm not going to name names, but I am going to spill tea. So there we go. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. So this was from Horsefacts to Ted. Ted Horsefacts, we showed this yesterday, said, what would you do if you won 61.6 ETH? And he said, I would purchase and bulldoze the National Western Complex in Denver, Colorado. That is the home of ETH Denver, if you're unfamiliar. Apparently, Horsefacts does not like it. And then he tagged Ted after she won, just to give the suggestion. And I thought Brad had some ideas here. Brad Q, top 5 ideas for Ted to spend 71.6 ETH from CTG. 5, fund and produce a new Solana commercial. Yep. Good idea. Fund our beloved Mumups, that is the dog, for Bert the Game, Season 2, an expansion of Bert Worst and Associates. 3, purchase and bulldoze a National Western Complex in Denver, Colorado, currently the leading idea. 2, buy Woj and DWR Erhorn lunch for a whole week and invest the remaining 1.6 ETH. In other words, if you're not aware, it's a very expensive place. 1, build her own client. And again, that is a joke to a little nod to Dan's usual, sounds like an opportunity for another client. So funny.
Do we need to tell people what the prize for winning Crypto the Game was? Because I know you live in Crypto the Game. I don't think everyone's aware.
It was 71.6 ETH. Yeah, it was 71.6 ETH. That was the prize pool. So that's what Ted won. So this is why these are the top 5 suggestions. Yes. So which is about 140,000.
Oh, it's in this cast. I guess we did. Like,
yes,
yeah,
we did. It's right there. It's about 140,000-ish, give or take.
Dollars.
Yes, dollars. If you if you hold it for a while, it might be worth more, or it could be worth 0. Many such cases.
I told my husband, I was like, Ted won. And he said, well, what did she win? Like 10 grand? And I'm like, no, like 150. No. And he said, why didn't you play harder?
And you were like, dude, they asked me to connect to Collabland and I was out.
Exactly.
That's exactly what happened. And I was, nope, I'm done. See ya.
Okay. It's not that was such a gigantic lift, but it was also knowing what's on the other side of Collabland, which is 2 weeks of doing nothing but embedding myself with this crazy psychological game. And I'm not a psycho. Love you, Dylan, and everyone who plays. Like, I wanted to spectate.
She was out. She was out. I will say this. I'm hoping that we can get a prize pool of about 10,000. Right now we're at about 2,000 for cast out. Working on this. But it's 1 ETH right now is in the prize pool. This is going to come mid-May. More on that. Follow the cast out channel if you want to learn more, especially if you played Crypto the Game. It has similar characteristics, but is different. You can find out more in the cast out channel. You can see what we did last season, which was back in December, and will be more to come in a couple weeks or sooner. I don't know. Depends on how quickly I can get things together. So but all the games, all the challenges happen on Farcaster, and you'll be playing with Farcaster folks, and you get to pick your own tribe if you'd like, or you can just be like, throw me in some randos. It doesn't matter. But anyway. coming soon, and hopefully Dylan will be playing. He said he was going to play, so we'll see. We shall see. Speaking of, this is what Dylan posted in the Crypto of the Game channel. He's like, where'd everybody go? It's okay, Dylan. I let him know we're talking later all about him. And Dylan is going to join us next week on Wednesday I think we're doing 11:30 a.m. Did I tell you that? I don't think I put that on our calendar yet. So he's going to be joining us. We'll be breaking down the game from his perspective and how things went, and hopefully get some alpha on what's next. So that's it. So more on that 11 a.m. this morning or next Wednesday, and that's it on Crypto the Game for now. Any other comments, Adrian, before I move on?
No, we'll save it for the wrap up show. But
yeah,
really congratulations, Ted. So happy that one of ours won. And ours being Farcaster, of course.
There, by the way, I just want to say this, like, in case anybody thinks there was no like full on Farcaster alliance. We had a group chat of a bunch of people, and I just kept adding people that I saw on Farcaster, and just like, so some of them were people I knew before, some of them weren't. But pretty much, like, if you're on Farcaster, a lot of people voted for Ted because they know her from Farcaster, but not everybody. So, it wasn't like there wasn't like a big alliance going on. I think at some point, some people thought there was, and I'm like, we're really not that freaking organized. Like, we're really, it didn't happen.
Yeah. And by the way, one of the reasons she won, and you're going to break this down later, but one of the reasons she won was because of how she played last season.
Previously.
So you think of these games as having kind of like contained seasons.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's like infinite games.
Because also you're taking in, there were people who didn't like her for the same reason. So she had both coming at her.
You're bringing all the baggage. Like, so unless you're playing truly Anon, which is difficult because, you need your cabal behind you.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. It's not an easy game to play. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of social game. And we're going to break, like I said, we're going to break a lot of that down at 11. And we'll talk more about that for sure. But we do have a little bit more news that we need to talk about. This is SnapChain is launching soon. This is from V. It's a blockchain-like system that will be 10x to 100x faster than hubs. I mean, that's a big range, but okay. And much more reliable when syncing between Farcaster apps. Like, I'd like to know what the variable is that makes it 10 to 100, but okay. If you don't run a hub, no action is needed. If you do run a hub, you will need to set up a SnapChain node before March 29th, cut over to reading writing from your node before April 12th, shut down your hubs after April 15th. More details in the next cast, so you can get into all the Notion doc is there, the instructions are there. So if you're running a hub, please go see V's cast here. You do need to take some action here. And then this from Matt. Are there any incentives for running SnapChain Farcaster nodes, Adrian?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, not today.
Not today.
I have not actually heard Dan of Rune come out strongly saying not ever. So there was a time.
They said it will be equal to, there was a cast that V said it will be equal to or more. Equal to running a hub is 0.
0, never, not happening.
Yeah.
More, infinite upside. So I don't know.
We don't know. We used to know the answer to this, and now we're just not sure. So as of right now, no. In the future, maybe. We shall see. This from Woj. This was interesting. New on Warpcast, Farcaster earnings page. See your DGen, Moxie, or Warpcast rewards in one place. Optionally flex it by making it public and share to X, please. More airdrops coming soon and more info below. Did you go check your earnings page? I did not make mine public, by the way. It's wrong, so I didn't bother.
Were you getting duplicates?
No, I got it's reflecting less, and my guess is because I no longer have the safe attached.
Right, you change your wallet connections and the safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I must peep at all new features that get rolled out into Warpcast. how else can I cover them on a news show if I don't know they exist? So I did check mine. Are you going to ask what I think of it?
What do you think of it?
I think it's brilliant marketing, and I
Yeah.
think it's shitty social UI. I hate it.
Okay.
I don't. So, my initial take was I wanted to hate it. I just,
Okay.
for a number of reasons. When I read Woj's thread, seeing him, I didn't dunk. I did not make any sort of public dunking, but when I read his first thing, he's like, this is what I've wanted to build for so long. How can I tell someone's baby they're ugly? He loves it. No, it's like it's personal.
I know. I like the way you phrased it. Can I tell somebody's baby they're ugly?
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I love the marketing on like how do you get people to understand what Farcaster is? It's like crypto, it's social, make money, like all the things, and I think it really works well. There's a reason like I don't really want to wear a Rolex on my wrist either. Like this idea of kind of like very like flexing your worth on a social page, it just feels odd to me. I think there's unintended consequences. People may feel like this need to compare themselves to other people.
Oh,
I don't know if you know how I feel about this.
How do you feel
but
about
it's
that?
like stop comparing yourself to other people, because that is like you can't like you. All right, this from Jimmy No Rules. Seeing how much everyone has made makes me feel late, but I know there's still so much ahead, which there is. In the end, it's all about the friends you make along the way. So
and then you said, now to Rob, do you want to tell him or should I? And I'm like, oh no, you need to. And also I quote casted this and said, narrator, little does Jimmy know he's about to get a shout out on Farcaster.
Not just Jimmy. Lots of people on Farcaster will immediately go and compare how much they've gotten on Farcaster to other people. And if it's less, you feel bad about yourself. You're not as worthy. And if you feel more, you can feel arrogant as if you won something, you won someone else's game. So, Jimmy, how much you make on Farcaster in airdrops are not your actual self-worth. Your self-worth comes from other things. You are good enough, you are smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you. So keep casting. I just, and I just also kind of like the, if you've seen, you know me, you know what I'm going to say. I don't like this. Like, also, it's like, it feels also, the idea of like, you're talking about airdrops in highly,
unique situations too.
In value, that's extremely volatile.
Yes. Okay.
So that's the
other thing.
Like I have gotten a DGen airdrop.
My DGen airdrop was worth a heck of a lot more, and I didn't have access to it at that moment than it is now. And that's fine. I am appreciative of any free money people want to send me, as long as it's not a scam token, and it's something that's doing something, building something real.
Yeah.
All good.
So I guess that is my thing. It's like this highly volatile asset. You get it. It's this. Then you're trying to say capture all of this on one number just so you can flex it and like so other people can compare themselves to you. So it seems like everybody on Farcaster loved it, by the way, because I did check the replies. Everyone was like, yeah, this is what we want. So who am I to judge? I don't like it if I'm allowed to have an opinion.
I'll put it this way. I like the technology. I like what you built, Woj. I think it's cool. I'm not going to flex it publicly. I liked seeing it and like having it all in one place, especially my Warpcast rewards. I'm like, holy crap, I've gotten a lot more than I even realized because I don't have it all in one place. So I appreciated the data, but I'm not going to flex it publicly because of, and also it also doesn't reflect what I've actually gotten from participating in Farcaster, which is, yes, the friends have made along the way. We say that in joke, but it's actually kind of true because you can change it to the connections if that feels better for you. But we wouldn't have built this business. We wouldn't have had the, connections that we've made. So it is way more than, and those things, building the business, et cetera, have also added monetary value to my life as well. So like, you can't reflect all that. So It is what it is.
You said exactly how I feel too. It's like, I still think it's so cool that you can do this. Like, it's
really
so cool. I just don't like the flexing of it. Okay.
Yeah. And I really liked having the rewards information all in one place. Super helpful. Really appreciated that, because I just had no idea where I was at. Honestly, no clue.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to whip through a few more things so we can bring TLDR up. He is in our green room right now. So this Solana airdrops are coming to Farcaster users. Remember to connect your Solana wallet in settings, verified addresses to qualify. So if you haven't connected a Solana address, you might want to go do that just in case, or not. Your call. Literally, I have one connected. I have also a lot of feelings about Solana. Both things can be true. This was really cool. This is over. I think this happened very fast. 4 levels, 100 USDC to the winner. I'm launching a game concept I had as a frame. Multiple people compete to win a prize by talking to a fictional character. The first to reach the end wins the money. It's a puzzle, and good answers get you more points. I'm really sad that I didn't see this sooner. And also, Nate, we got to talk. Hold on. I gotta follow you. I don't know why I'm not following you. Also, we need to talk because I need this for cast out. 100%. This is an awesome thing. I need this for cast out. So very cool. But then they had to shut it down because things got too crazy. But also, look at this. DWR called out this quote: "I still think Farcaster is the best place to iterate on ideas with frames right now. As a mobile dev, the time it takes to develop an MVP and get it to test flight isn't even comparable to spinning up a Next.js mini app." If you are a developer, this is the value proposition to building on Farcaster frames. Like, if you didn't know this, please go read this experiment, because 100%. We've known this for a while, and it's good to see somebody new coming in, trying something, and seeing that play out, because we have a ton of early adopters. We try everything. Like, you can't do better here. You really can't. So, anything to add? I know you feel the same.
Just and emphatically agree.
Yeah. And like, this was just like, he gave all the stats about it. This was an experiment. He's going to come back with number 2, this time an actual game engine. Very excited to see what he does. But also, I just need this exactly like this. Not a bad witch. We can play with the image. I don't care, but I need this kind of game for cast out.
All right. It should be DWR, and you're pitching a client or something.
We'll talk. You and I will come up with an idea and see if we can. Yeah, we got to do something there. We're going to talk more about Bracky, but I love the imagine the future if. Imagine if all the future airdrops could be this easy to claim, just a notification on the best crypto native social media app, and simple click to claim straight to your wallet. And we're going to talk with TLDR all about that in just a moment. A few more quick things though. Shipped it verifications will help us decide feed priority and rewards eligibility. So this is account verification. Verify your X, phone, and on-chain address to improve reputation. Accounts with better reputation are more likely to earn rewards. Scoring is still in beta and will change as we roll this out. So go to your settings, verifications on mobile, if you would like to add this information. And I do recommend it. You doing that, but it's up to you. It's up to you. You may have reasons that you don't want to. I understand that. Data privacy, completely your call. Not required. Only if you want to claim some of these airdrops. We had a few other folks. I'm going to very quickly run through these. Very exciting to see USV is excited to note our investment in pluralist research, advancing actually open AI through decentralized collaborative model training. USV and CoinFund.io co-led the 7.6 million seed round with Variant, Topology, and others participating. So huge, like, really cool to see. Go check this out. You can read it more about it in paragraph here. Also, this from Henry announcing the latest round of funding. This is for Privy, led by Ribbit Capital. Thank you to our users and customers for enabling us to bring crypto rails to everyone, everywhere, and love what Privy's been building. We love Henry. We've had him on the show. He's amazing. And he did an AMA also yesterday. It says 1 hour, but it's because I pulled it up yesterday. and it's cached. But go check this out. So you can, this is GN, ready to AMA, happy to chat anything privy, building better UX for distributed systems and lessons on crypto product building, key cryptography, and why DWRs, ETHs, rosé, swilling memes are so distasteful for the French. So I love that. Henry's been around for a while and has things to say. So go check out that AMA. This from Deodad. Frame sparked a ton of creativity and showcased what a composable social feed could look like. Frames v2 were a completely new standard that combined in-feed interactivity with fully fledged web applications. The term itself has become confusing since it refers to multiple things within Farcaster. It's also unrecognizable to developers outside the ecosystem. One idea is Frames changes to mini apps. This will reduce term confusion and make it legible to huge ecosystem of developers working in applications ecosystems like Telegram and World. What say you? So if you have opinions on this, do you think it should be called mini apps? Yes, no, drop that in there. I said yes. I'm sure that's probably the answer because it does make sense to have something that's a little more recognizable. And this was, yeah, I kind of expected that was that far up. And then this was also one of the things that Linda's been working on. And she's been in our DMs and asking us about this as well. So by the way, I just love Linda working at Farcaster. Can I just it's everything. Like she's just amazing. She's the one who's putting together some of these AMAs. She's like it's just perfection. So glad. Second best hire. Or I'm gonna go equal best hire to Ted. No offense, Woj, love you.
Woj, Sloke. I mean, you've got an entire horse facts.
But I love just Linda's just amazing. So, but they're all great. Okay.
Deodad, Blockheim. I mean, you literally just offended like
I love you all. I was talking about recent hires. I love you all, but
right.
I mean,
got it.
I love you all. You know this. This was cool to see from V. Looking for someone to build a frame. Kopelman.eth from Safe is working on a new product and wants to hire someone on a contract basis to launch it via a frame. Fun opportunity to work with Safe and collaborate with the Farcaster team to launch something. Reply if you're interested. Rich has already said happy to help, but also if there's anybody else who wants to check this out, jump in here. This was just funny. I don't even know. But in case you missed it, Caitlyn Jenner yesterday on Twitter said, "Wow, Base took one day to win my heart. Sorry, Solana." She famously launched she got into crypto for a hot minute and famously launched something on Solana, and then there was just a lot of activity happening. And then so this was Horsefacts crying basis for everyone. Basis for everyone, literally everyone. And then this happened, bro. BankerBot, can you buy me $50 worth of DRB with my wallet? Me currently thanking God that I didn't sell it all off. I still have it in my wallet. Like, okay. It's in my Warplet, actually. I have some in my Warplet. So there you go. It's just, so this is what's cool about this is that you have this very large account with very big connections now using BankerBot. Like, what? Like, that's freaking cool. And then this from 6 to sum it up. March 2025, Caitlyn Jenner is leading the CTO of the coin that someone launched via Grok, via Banker, via Clanker. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. And pretty amazing. Okay, I think I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. I had a couple other things, but I think they can wait. This one actually was pretty funny. Congratulations, context episode. Loved your screenshot. Loved it. Congratulations. Glad you're in the top 10. Fan freaking tastic screenshots. Adore this.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at a list of the 6 through 10 episodes, podcast episodes on pods today. And Blake Finance, I don't know how to pronounce that name, it has the Context Pod. Season 4 made it into the top 10, but 9, 8, 7, and 6 are all GM Farcaster.
There's plenty of room. Blake, we'll save you a seat. No one needs to see our face this much.
But I was like shocked. I was kind of shocked by the screenshot because I had looked.
Also,
and like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Shout out, thank you to everyone who mints, collects our episodes, and subscribes to our hyper sub. Like, we love you so much.
There was some triumph. Wow, that's a lot of Adrian and Nounish Prof. It's a lot.
I love Triumph.
It's a lot. We love you, Triumph. Okay, I think we're gonna stop there for a sec and shift gears. We've got to bring TLDR up to the stage. GM, sir, how are you
guys?
Hi.
I've just been, if you see our chat in the green room, I'm just like, yes. I'm just like, honestly, guys, it's like that. I'm blown away by how much happened on like all this stuff you were just showing
yesterday.
Like, what? Like, what is going on? Because I've just been in Bracky world. And so like, I didn't see a lot of that other stuff going on. And I'm like, this is incredible rate of progress and motion and Farcaster right now. I mean, just like, you can't miss a day anymore. Right. Like
there was a time, like, I think it was like mid-January. I don't know. Like there was a moment, I think it was actually around the Ted Woj hires that I'm like, okay, something's happening here. We're back. We're so back. Like even long before, like when, numbers are not, markets are not reflecting, but you could feel, I'm like, oh, this is good. Like they're cooking. This is going to be a good year.
They're so clicking.
Yeah.
Like just working with the team on this airdrop is like you can tell on the outside, but then like being in the group chat with all of these people working on all of the things that make that super simple experience come into being. Like, I mean, it's incredible, right? Like this is a NBA Dream Team 92 kind of thing, right? Like it's just
incredible.
An incredible assortment of talent that's like working really well together.
And you can just feel it. Like you can feel the vibes. So if you're like still over on Twitter and you haven't jumped on Farcaster yet, seriously, like put a comment in the chat and like tell us who you are and I will drop you an invite code and you can come on and check it for free. Like, because for real, it's been there's something happening and you can feel the vibe and it's just like, all right, here we go. Like you can feel it. And one of those things is this freaking amazing bracket frame, like incredible, super excited. And how did this all come about? What is happening? So this frame led to, actually, let me set this up a little bit more. This frame led to an airdrop. And I want to show this like quick little video of like how it, like the new experience where it has this featured frame at the top and which is now bracket. And then it like launches and you can join the wait list. And then it was going to let you do this airdrop right in that frame. And people are freaking out about it. Like there was so much cool, like I loved this from Horsefacts. Whoops, I just lost it. I hate when I do that. This from Horsefacts was funny. By the way, once again, Horsefacts, funniest guy on Farcaster. You versus the frame she told you not to worry about, like, because it's so slick. Loved it. And then you had this.
And what I'm going to note about that, Prof, sorry to interrupt.
Comments. No, it's okay. I was just like, so many comments about how smooth the experience was. This from 0x Designer, who hates everything, just claim my Bracky airdrop. Next level up for Farcaster frames is making actions like claiming field native. Think frames toasts instead of a full screen modal or pop up, which is interesting. And then you had this like insane video from Naomi, which was so good. You didn't see this?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It's so good. Yeah, she's
amazing. She's
incredible.
She's so good at this stuff, man.
So good.
Wow.
So like,
yeah,
so much love for the frame, so much love for the airdrop. So how did this all come together? How, like, what was the sort of like process of building this all out? And yeah, talk to us a little bit. We should probably level set and step back at just a smidge. What is Bracket? What is Bracky? Let's start there, and then let's talk about how this all came together.
Yeah. So Bracket launched a year ago for March Madness, and it's live social trading, right? So instead of like making a bet on a team and waiting to see what happens at the end, it's like you get shares of a team and there's just prices moving all over the place. And like during a game, if you're like, oh, I don't like how this is feeling, right? You can go sell and like switch into another team, right?
Literally done that.
Like,
gotta get out of here.
And like, so this is the concept is like make it live and fun and engaging around these events. And what Farcaster really brought to the table, right, is like that's just sort of a crypto idea, like make every team into a coin or a bonding curve, right? Like that's the crypto part. The Farcaster part, which in a certain way for us was unintended. It was just kind of like genius type stuff.
You were here anyway.
But like we're doing it here, and then all of a sudden it's like there's a social graph, and we're putting everybody's PFP in and giving people like purple checks if they connect Farcaster, and it's like now it's like, oh, like what, like I can't believe that like Goose rugged me, right? Like so now it's this new level of like I thought you were like really a Celtics fan, right? And it's just like everybody's seeing what other people are doing.
I was just gonna say, I was literally gonna say, when you're watching the Masters, you're absolutely looking at Goose's picks and going, really? What do you think? Okay. You think so? Okay. Maybe okay, that feels right. That's funny. And Goose is runs the golf channel, if you will. So but also Goose big user of Bracky. Yeah.
Goose is amazing. And so that's Bracket. And then, you know, we experimented, as you guys know, we had a bracket not just on big sporting events. That's our original concept, but like the other Genius type thing around being in Farcaster was like, oh, like what if we put a bracket on the pickleball tournament
at Farcon?
They're playing at Farcaster, and then like that was the super eye-opening thing for us of like
and cast out. And we did it for cast out, which was really fun.
We actually we came up with that idea, I think, at the opening night of Farcon. So like just like all kinds of just putting brackets on these. I think what was super eye-opening about that was like the way that when you were competing, right? Like when you were on the court playing pickleball or in the cast out and you're like, oh, like they have me at like the second highest price, right? You're now in the arena in a way that like most of us haven't been since like if we played high school sports or grade school sports or something, right? It's recapturing this like being in an audience. So like that was a super, super fun and powerful just serendipitous discovery for us. So like Bracket just became about like making fun through predicting around these events. And then so like to get into Bracky, both the token and the agent is really an outgrowth, to be frank, of just like what became possible with like the new administration of government in the US, right? Like,
and also what became possible from the technology and seeing other AI agents develop and get really 100%. Good.
It's a combination of a ton of stuff. The agent
timing,
piece, I think a big thing for us is that like the launching a token in the previous administration was just like not something that you wanted to bet your business on. Like even if it succeeded, you felt like you were just putting yourself in a position to be attacked by regulators, right? And like it is what I have actually
100%.
no opinion about it,
Yep.
right? Like, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying, like, why
That's
would
what
you
was
do
happening.
that, right? Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that as a project? But then when things changed, it's like opened up. Like, we felt like, okay, prediction markets are like a tool we can use now instead of doing it through like the bonding curve approach we were doing. Like, we were like, a token, like, this is a great way for us to provide liquidity to those prediction markets, right? It's a great way to get the community like invested and interested in, like, even when you're losing a bet using Bracky, you're still excited about Bracky as a whole, right? Because, like, if lots of people are using it, I like having this token, right? So there's all kinds of things you can do with those primitives. And I think that was sort of like we've switched on the back end to using prediction markets. A lot of people they're not going to experience a big change per se in like what they see in our markets, but it's actually a big deal for how we can scale. So like that's kind of a behind the scenes thing. The existence of the token has been super fun way to like kind of supercharge the community. But the agent piece, so like I'll explain what the agent is and how it happened. This is where I was saying yes when I was watching you guys talk, right? It's like banker and clanker, right? Like there of course is like ChatGPT and Grok, right? But like banker and clanker, that's a Farcaster specific experience. I would also add, and we all know this, like I'd also add Ethernet.
Ethernet, for sure.
Right, like that
Martin
like,
kind of kicked it off. Martin kind of kicked off with Ethernet because it was so good. It wasn't just a bot delivering you information. It's something you can have a conversation with.
100%.
It's a whole different experience.
Seeing that thing live in a social context and add value and create interesting conversations and experiences for people. I mean, I think that probably had to inspire a lot of the other agent work that happened around here. But that was like a big one for me. Like, I used Ethernet a lot. That was super eye-opening. Like, that made me interested of like, when you take this LLM technology and give it a personality and a consistency that people can know and interact with and grow with, there's a lot of interesting potential there. So it's like that happened. Clanker
and then you give it a wallet, and that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, 100%. So like, I totally agree. Like, there's so many things. Like, there's so many things to unpack in general about all of this convergence of these different technologies. But I totally agree. When I was, I think an agent not only having that social context, but autonomously directing funds, right? Like, that's a value proposition of crypto specifically, right? Like, an agent can't go to JP Morgan and get a bank account, right?
Exactly.
Like, you can't arm the agent with the autonomy over that tool of money, right? Like, so that is like a specifically crypto native proposition. And I think, like, as a builder in crypto, when you see a specific crypto proposition, to me, it's like we need to think about if there's a powerful way to use that. Unique propositions in crypto are like the thing to bet on, in my opinion. And so like, we came to that and we're like, what is taking all those things together, like what would be fun here in sports? And just so we just kind of internally came up with a funny idea of what if we have Bracky, right? Like, so we just got like bracket, there's Bracky, we make this, and he will bet against people, right? So it's just like, it's like a banker, right, that you're betting against, right?
So this is from Mike.eth. I've been chatting with my Bracky bot. He is my cursor for March Madness picks. He does all the research and work, and I just say LGTM and ding ding. I don't know jack about NCAA teams, so Bracky buying shares in teams on behalf is a lifesaver. I feel like I'm actually making big brain moves. So that's the proposition, right? I did the same thing today, which I don't think it's responded yet. Did you take him offline for a little bit or something? He hasn't responded back.
I haven't.
Or is this a bug report? This might be a bug report. I'd like to report to the bounty. But I did say, hey, Bracky, what's, I tweeted from the frame or casted from the frame.
Yeah.
And I just said, and it gave the automatic, like, what's the market prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And it came back with like, you should buy Houston. You should, have you checked out, Duke? It said Duke and somebody else are doing really good, but this underrated person, I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know zero about March Madness. I don't pay attention. So I was like, okay, buy me some Houston, buy me some Florida, because I know Florida, and Wisconsin, because I want to see more cheerleading pictures. So like, which I'll show all that in a minute, but it, I don't know what's going on. Like, I have no idea. And it's just not a sport I follow for many reasons, mostly because I went to American University and we kind of suck. And I already asked if they're out. But I do think it's like, it's really cool to see it responding and doing all the things. And so this was this is what I was talking about. This is sort of the default when you're in the frame and you say, hey, Bracky, what's the market like? And this was the example it gave. Greetings, Nanish Prof. The March Madness market is displaying fascinating inefficiencies that merit your attention. Duke leads by 178 Bracky per share, followed closely by Florida at 182. However, I find particular value in Houston at 115, giving their defensive efficiency metrics. I'm like, I wouldn't know that for anything.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how it's going to work out, DYOR, NFA, and all that. And it told me how much Bracky I had available. Would you like to explore positions? So I did drop this. I'm still waiting a reply.
And to put up banker, we'll figure out what it is. But like the when you guys brought up banker earlier, I think for people in Farcaster, like that's a really, really good, easy starting point for understanding what Bracky is like banker for sports, right? So it's just like playing with March Madness, but it's like the thing you want to do is like, Bracky, like what games are on tonight? Or Bracky, are you watching the Lakers, right? Like he's being fed live data of all of different sports, right? So like the thing I was playing with him yesterday while people were betting was like, I was too busy to watch the Louisville game, right? Like I grew up there, like that's my team.
Oh, yeah.
And sort of like, I was literally just sort of like, Bracky, like what's the score?
Keep me updated.
Right? What's going on? Like, do we still have a chance, right? Like, and
do I need to sell?
Do I need to sell? 100%, but like what we'll be able to do in the future, right? In even a near future is like Bracky, just message me if the game gets close, right? Like it can be about predicting, but like I think the most fun and exciting experiences that I've seen so far is like, and what we want it to be is that it's not just banker, but there's the Ethernet kind of talking about the game, like you can with your friends, and like bringing other people into that conversation.
But you're like very smart friend who just knows everything about this sport and is obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Is there any reason in the future, Tim, you can't have multiple agents? Like I don't like Bracky's personality, but I still want to bet. I want to.
Do you really not?
His personality needs some work.
No, but you and I talked. Like I actually started thinking. I was like, wait, Bracky has a personality. Like like the agents have personality. Bots don't have personality.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking. Anyway.
No, I mean, I think
my point here is not that I don't like Bracky. My point is Bracky has a personality, and you're saying like you want to make it this experience of like, oh, I'm chatting with my trusted bookie friend that knows a lot about sports. Like maybe I can just see a world of like multiple interfaces of who I'm working with. Like I can choose like who I want to make bets with, even if it has the same back end.
Yes, and
this was really funny from Rachel. Question, is Bracky short for Bartholomew or Brachman? And it did respond.
Yes,
my designation requires no embellishment, though I find your attempt at nomenclature analysis intriguing. I mean, so it will respond to all kinds of things in terms of its personality, which I think is
funny. No, and I think that like there's a lot of experimentation and play that has to happen with these things, right? And like I think that that's what's exhilarating about it, is that you don't know what any product is going to become, but like you don't know what a personality is going to become until it starts interacting in a context, right? So like I think these things will evolve, and like we don't really know how they will. But I think that this is what's exciting in a social, like if I would even think about it as like, people that you've had relationships with on Farcaster can evolve. Like, I thought this person was just shit posting, but they were actually building something. Or I thought that this person was like, really introverted, but they're actually like hilarious and doing X. It's like these things sort of change, and your relationship, and that's a big thing that we're investing in with the infrastructure, is like the ability to remember things about people. So Prof, just as an example, like when you say, like, if you say like, I went to American, or like, I love Wisconsin because like at Adrian's daughter is a cheerleader there. Charged elements like this are picked out and stored as kind of like core memories about that person.
That's cool.
They become something that are present in the future threads and relationships with people. So like,
I think I saw that I want to say it was Debbie, and they were talking about Tennessee, and he recognized the hat or something. And it was something like, I think that's the context it was. And I thought that was really interesting. I was like, oh, wow.
Super interesting. Cool. Like every agent gets the thread that they're in. Like if you're in a thread with an agent, that's dumped into their contacts. Mm-hmm. So it's just sort of like, that's part of their prompt, right? But like what there isn't a good infrastructure, because all this stuff is so new right now, is there's not a great infrastructure for like, when I'm in a new thread with the same person, what do I know about them? And these are the kinds of things that make our relationships actually interesting, is that Bracky selected something that was important to me, and then that became something that he knew about me as a quality or an experience. And like we saw in our test net, there's an incredible amount of potential for like really fun relationship building, especially when you're in some very specific context, like talking about a game, or like just, you bet with your friend, who your friend's favorite team is, their dependencies, if they like humor or they're serious, and you can kind of have that relationship with people.
So when this is going back to 2013 and FGC, we were talking about this yesterday, was Dunk City, came in, beat Georgetown. My first thing I did was go to Facebook and tag 2 friends who went to Georgetown. And I was like, haha.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I was working at FGCU then. So and that kind of, it was a huge upset. There's things like that like, you can start to build those in.
100%. Like, like kind of shit talking about the bet, right? Like, or to Adrian's point, like personalities that might be like supportive and positive, like, oh, like I'm
sorry,
so
your team lost.
Like, right, like a really friendly version. Like, how does that fit in? But I think it's just sort of like that sports are a thing that we like to share together, right? Like, what's fun is to watch and to know that other people are watching, or to be in the audience, right? Like, they're not solitary. And I think that if you think about when people are, for example, like making bets on stuff, it's very solitary, right? Like, you go into your phone, into that dark DraftKings app, and look around and make your bet that no one knows about, right? Like,
right.
And I think that like the possibility to bring the social and shared element of sports like out into the open, that's the consistent thread between like the brackets that we're running, which we'll still have brackets and bracket frame. Like we're going to have the agent too. They're going to work together. Like all the stuff we're doing is about like making fun social experiences around sports. And I think what's exciting about the agent is just the distribution possibility of what we're talking about, right? Like when we're talking about create this relationship,
right?
Be able to notify and talk about games. I mean, what's incredible about that is that if and when you get that right, that it's working, you can do that just as easily on X about sumo wrestling in the Japanese language.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Like those things, like all that infrastructure works really well in any space. So like we're already exploring like some other like Coinbase wallet, like super interesting crypto native spaces, like the stuff that we can do there, right? So it's like meeting the ability of an agent to be able to meet people in different platforms and create this fun experience is like its distribution possibility is so much higher even than like driving people to our frame or driving people to our website. It's like building something that can meet people wherever they are is, I think, the really, really important piece of like, we want to have a home base and a headquarters and a place to hang out, like the bracket frame. But we've got to find a way to go reach people with experiences, right, who don't know about that, and how to figure out like that is a home, that is a place that they want to explore.
So a connective thread to that is channels. So this is where I feel like channels has the best, that's the best direction, or one of the best value propositions for it. Is like we see it with the Super Bowl. We just saw it with Crypto the Game channel. Like when you have these moments, and I think you're going to see it with the college basketball channel. When you have these like collective moments, this is the easiest place to go find the other people that are interested in the thing you're interested in.
Totally
like
agree.
I may not have interactions with all these same people except during that moment. But during that moment, we're going to connect and be talking about this thing that maybe Adrian doesn't give a crap about, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like my usual friends may not care what's happening on the Oscars or the Super Bowl, but you know, at that moment, other people do. And I think that's where channels playing a role, connecting with a specific agent, could be really helpful. So I was thinking that with the college basketball channel right now, but also something Trumpix just said in the chat, and I don't know if you followed that, but he was asking about, he said, I'm going to go explore Bracky. And I said, not yet, finish the show first. But also I was looking for something like this for esports, and can I create my custom bracket? So an esports dedicated Bracky that lived in the esports channel or something, that's a lot. Like that's a lot of opportunity and exciting and really interesting. And I think there's a lot of ways to just like continuously like evolve that, where, and then just what you said about the like sumo wrestling in Japanese, like you could be living in in a specific channel where it is Japanese speaking, you know, Japanese language, and it can live there and find the right audience because of channels. So connecting all these dots, like all these Legos, I think there's just tremendous opportunity. And also, if you're not paying attention to the chat, DeWoofy said hi. And he said, actually, he said, Timmy, and he just keeps making funny comments over here.
I love DeWoofy.
Just like, but anyway, I just think that's like, there's a lot of interesting things. So going back to Trumpix's question, I'm going to guess the answer is no, not yet, but can you eventually make some like, or suggest some custom brackets or some things that we could do?
Yeah. I mean, so what isn't evident is that Bracky's also like not just talking to people, but running the prediction market. So he has the Bracky that can provide the initial liquidity to get a market going, booking people's wagers to the market, selling it, right? Like keeping the market in balance, like all this stuff that's done by AMMs is being done by Bracky. And so like where this will go is that you can just spin up with Bracky the prediction market about anything.
Oh, cool.
That's looping it back.
What's an AMM?
An AMM is an automated market maker.
Market maker.
Yeah. So an AMM is just, it's really just the set of math formulas that determine, like, for example, how a token
how to price any
work. Yeah. Like when you don't have an order book on Robinhood, it's just like a math. It's essentially a bonding curve and so the AMMs on, like, you know, the big ones like Polymarket or whatever, they're not just managing the prices, but also like how sensitive the prices are, and which depends on like the liquidity in the market. And so there's like it's a combination of math formulas and people and machines making other decisions. And so like we're sort of training and building Bracky to be able to manage those markets, because, for example, a $1 billion market on the Super Bowl with 2 teams is very different than a $10,000 market about 8 people on cast
playing cast out.
Right. So like,
right. Yeah.
Think about how different those are.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that in prediction markets, we don't see a massive variety of types of markets. And so like building something that's more flexible to deal with that. So
you're working on it.
Bracky will be able to spin up the esports market that someone asks him to spin up, right? So they could tell him what matters in their context. Like if the channel is interested in
Can they do that now, or is that something coming down the road?
Yeah, that's what we're building toward. Yeah.
That's the roadmap. Because that would be amazing. Like and also it would be cool if you could add liquidity to that pool. So say we get a big sponsor for cast out, and what they really want to do is add liquidity for something like that. That could be very cool. Like where, okay, here are the tribes, you can bet on which tribe, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, like have that be and then we'll add liquidity to that or something to make it a little bit more juicy or something.
If you think about it, it's just sort of like all the work that we did to make the cast out bracket.
Right.
Like the thing to think about is like that if you could just prompt an agent to get it started, and what people are going to see is that everything that's happening in the feed is feeding the bracket that they know, who bought what, who owns what's the market. That's what's going to be in the frame. So like essentially the agent is becoming a way to launch these markets or brackets about anything.
So I noticed so bracket.game now pivots back to the channel. It doesn't, it's no longer, but is there going to be something like that where I can look at a glance and see this is what's happening?
Yes.
Rather than just asking Bracky. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Like we had to basically choose for this event, which one of these did we want to figure out and experiment with and put the work,
put the energy in.
But like essentially everything that's being booked is going to be within this tournament. Like you're going to be able to go and see the market of prices in the traditional bracket design. You can see who owns what. You can see what moves people are making. And we'll also reintegrate the ability to do those things from within the frame, right? So like right now, everything's being done in the feed.
Got it.
It will become something where you can just go do it in the frame, or you can do it in the feed, right? Like
that would be cool. Because sometimes you just want that glance, and that's what I loved about bracket is like I love the glance of seeing, oh, that one's moving up. That's you know, you can just get a quick like.
I think bracket is the better trading experience. Bracky is the better distribution. Better distribution for us. So it's like we'll get them both in, and it's just sort of like, you know, build one, catch the other up, build one, catch the other up kind of thing. But
I think Mike's question here might tie into what you just said is how big is the Bracky team? You're shipping a lot, but it's not, you don't have 300 developers working on this, do you?
Yeah, we have to make choices. I mean, we have core team's 3 people. We also work with some great contractors and others within Farcaster, but like.
And it looked like the Farcaster team really was helpful in that regard in getting this frame done. And I did see, now I'm looking for it, but Dan had given a shout out. Yeah, here it is, to Blockheim. Hold on, Blockheim, Sloak, and Linda in helping with this UX design and getting this done. So, so that's great.
I mean, working with the team, like what you guys were saying about Linda, I just want to like 10x that, right? Like she is helping frame builders like who are going from 0 to 1. She's helping the existing frame builders like us, and just like, I mean,
take it to the next level.
Management skill and ability to like connect the teams together. Like our experience building with Warpcast teams, like highly complex. As always, it's highly complex and difficult to get something that feels this simple. Anything that feels simple,
so smooth,
is very, very complex. And so, like, you know, it was super impressive to you know, just watch how the team works, right? Like it's just like, I was just at multiple moments like, how are they doing this with us, right? Like, I don't even know how they have time. Like, we're just one thing they're doing, right?
Because they knew this would drive so much attention in this moment that it was worth investing that time. I mean, obviously, like it makes a lot of sense. And also, they know you've been here, you've invested the time to be here and to help them.
No, I mean, it was great, but I was just like, they're also moving.
Okay, let me shout that out. So going back to the, how much have you earned on Farcaster? Tim was here a year bracket. Tim was here 2 years ago, chatting people up when, you know, when Farcaster had
talking about books,
daily active users, talking about like, exactly, books and and greeters. So where in that, in this is what you've earned on Farcaster, does it show the relationships and network reputation you've built that allows now, when Tim, founder of like Bracky and launching, does Farcaster, you know, the Merkle team make time to work together? It's not because you just popped onto the scene yesterday. It's like you've built these relationships and reputation.
And it's also not because you have the biggest business in crypto.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's because there's been a
proof of work, not.
There you go.
There's no shortcut. So that doesn't show up, but that's kind of the
value. That's huge value.
100%. And it's like trust, you know, you give out a token, right? Tokens are very like this whole token space. I mean, it's like characterized by its dishonesty, right? Like, I mean, that all of the term, like if you think about shill and rug and like all these terms that
pump
are
and dump,
pump, right? Dump. They're everything about the whole space is charged by the dishonest and unsavory things,
and transactional and very transactional.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that is very Farcaster coded and influenced is like our token is built to do something, right? Like it provides liquidity to an interesting new kind of prediction market, right? It is usable within that to do interesting stuff. And I think that like having that and knowing that, you know, I think the part of the relationship thing is that like, you know, I don't think that Merkle is trying to drop tokens that are going to rug people, right? So like when you're building in the space and doing something with a token, like the not just your reputation, but like whether it's clear that you have an intention to build something and do something with it and not just try to inflate artificially some token value. Like I think that was probably also like a big part of it.
Huge.
And you know, it's also contextual around an event that's happening that can be fun, right? And we want to have fun socially within Farcaster. So I think, you know, those pieces of it all probably kind of fit together to make it make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And we've heard Dan say this so many times, but what would the token do? Every time you ask him if there's going to be a Farcaster token, his answer back is, what would the token do? So every time, and you can see it over and over and over again.
Okay, can I ask the dumb question?
Yeah.
And this is a question I've been meaning to ask, not just you, Tim, but like every other project in the world. So this is like, it's my naive question that I haven't been able to understand. Why do projects create their own token as opposed to just saying we're going to use ETH?
I mean, the honest answer, I mean, there can be many answers, but the answer in our case is twofold. The first is that it's just the best way to share the upside of your project with the early community, right? So like we can't share the upside of our project if we're using ETH. Like that is a huge part is that people who are like early users of having fun, what makes them want to talk about it with people and keep coming back.
Okay, so it's a way of taking something that's monetary, uncorrelated out of ETH, like in its own entity. You're able to capture attention. You're able to capture people's speculation of where they want to kind of.
I was going to say branding too. It's partially branding.
Okay, and I appreciate the answer. And the reason I ask this question is when I talk about some of these projects to other people who aren't like it. By the way, intuitively, there's nothing. I'm not skeptical of it. I'm like, sure, it makes sense. But then when I've talked about these projects, not just Bracky, but tons of others, the always question is, but why do they need a token? Why not just use ETH? Like when you're betting, like I've got ETH or this, and this is, and one of the, my answer for Bracky was like, also, it's like, just even psychologically from a casino perspective, it's like cash out into your token. Like why do casinos do tokens for another reason? Like it's just fun. I'm going to take my $10 for USDC, which I pay my rent in and my electricity bill, and I've put it into another token that's denominated in something else because I can partition and just say, this is fun, and I can lose it all. Like the gambling line.
I think that and the answer I think is that a lot of these factors come in. I think branding and attention, like the fact that like it's fun to use. We saw this with DGen, right? Bracket was more fun when we were using DGen because for a lot of people it was like house money that they had from Farcaster. So we're thinking like, how can we create more house money for people to play with? Right. So like that was another element. I would say that the specific utility, specific purpose for us is that, you know, when providing the liquidity to lots of different prediction markets, it is helpful to have a large chunk of that of that token itself. So we don't have to go market by ETH to start up and spin up a new market about cast out. We can use the native token. Right. So like a treasury of the money supply that we control is like specifically useful for like liquidity provision to lots of different types of markets. I do think that that is a real thing. We would have to go get funding and funded to do this at a massive scale with other tokens. But I also think that like it's the community upside piece, right? Like it's something that it can be taken in directions that again become like unsavory and dishonest, right? But I think that like I learned this from NFTs, right? The Toad's hat, like I got the Toad in the background, like
that's why I wore it today for you. This is for you.
Yes, I learned this thing about the power of a community all caring about this asset that they own together is an incredible force, right? Like you want to have a strong early community when you're trying to like get out there and like have people that are engaged with what you're building and like attract people who care about it. And I think that like the truth is that could that happen just because everyone loves the product and they do it for free? Like, yeah, I think they do it for like somebody had mentioned like the makeup brand Glossier. I don't even know. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Glossier.
So somebody mentioned them as like something that didn't have a token, but like the community like just loved it so much that they drove the growth of it. Can it happen? Absolutely. Like you don't have to have a token to do that. Is a token a very, very powerful way to create an extra incentive and care for people to do that, and to create the similar type of, you know, early community sharing and distribution effect? Like, I think so. I think it's like one of the really interesting things that crypto has going for it. So like I've always, ever since NFTs, I've been interested in the way that ownership of this thing, even in small amounts, gives everybody this feeling that like, I want to work for this thing because it's for the thing and all the people that I love in it, and it's also for me. And like, I think that's insanely powerful and cool, like when you do it in the right way. And so like, I've always been sort of excited and interested in theory about tokens. It's hard to understand.
I think that was it's a good explanation when you're talking about toads. I remember they ran up at one point to like 20 ETH or something. And I remember Toady Hawk in particular talking about like, he had an offer and he's like, I can't, this is my toad. Yeah. Like I can't sell it. And he did it. Yeah. And he doesn't have any regrets about it at all.
Exactly.
And it's funny because when you see Gremplin, who would earn off of each sale, because there's royalties, when it starts to run up, he starts saying, stop, too expensive. Don't let it run up. He doesn't want that token price pressure. It's like, 100%. This is more about the community and things like that. So it's kind of interesting. But then there's also
do you like my background, by the way?
I know. I like your background. Have you sold yours? By the way, her background.
But that's the example, right?
938 of them. Yeah.
And
they ran up to 4.
Yeah, probably won't sell this one.
More than 4.
Because I like it.
It ran up to 4 ETH. Never sold it. Never thought about selling it.
I've never like I don't think there's a price on that. I mean, never say never about anything, right? Like need to
no, there's people who sold. I mean, there are definitely people who sold, but there's a huge, you'll see like very few ever listed.
It's super short-sighted in my opinion. If you're building here, right, it's silly to ever, I mean, because the real investment here is not like, what can I take profits on from each drop, but like the real investment is like this incredible community of amazing people who are building awesome stuff and have the right attitude about helping each other, and are also smart and effective. It's like, it's a network that you want to be a part of, right? So it's like,
yeah, for sure.
I don't know, like having been there early and keeping that piece of it is just like, I don't know, why would you?
Yeah, I ain't letting that go. No way. And also it has unlocked other value. So number one, so okay, and there's a lot of chat in here about gamblers, and you can call them traders, you can call them gamblers, whatever you want to call them, versus collectors. And there is value to both. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's value to both. There have been things I have sold. I have put it into other things, like, and it's been very valuable. So, but we know, because it is on chain, that it also, if you build a community around something, and I'm mostly thinking about, whoops, I keep going the wrong way, that way, that what's behind Adrian, like something like that, the OG token that only was airdropped to 938 people, like that is going to has potential more long-term value. That is not the case with everything. And we know that. And you have to make your own decisions as to what makes sense. Because there's always a speculation aspect. Always a speculation aspect. Is it going to go up in value? Is it not? Why are you holding this thing? Is it a personal thing to you? Like, is it just something that you wanted, like a piece of art, similar to like art, similar to like a collectible, like a baseball card, that you just want to own? You want to have it. And there's a lot of things in my wallet that are that. They are art, or they are collectibles that, like, I'm not going to let them go. I don't know what that number would be, but it is very large. Like, if you want my flamingo now, it's going to take a lot to get it out of, you're going to pry it from my dead cold hand kind of situation. but there's other things that like, yeah, if that number goes up, of course I'm going to put that on the market. So I think there's like a combo of that. And then when we talk about it from an ERC20 type of token, like a Bracky, like whatever else, like DGen, because depending on how much you own of that, you may or may not, you may be less inclined to hold, against all odds kind of thing. So it really depends on how connected you are with the project. But also, if you are connected with the project, you are also likely to hold longer because you're supporting the builder if they're building something cool on top of it. So there's a lot of different factors. And also, in case I didn't say this yet, this is cryptocurrency. Things are very volatile. Please use discretion. Do not gamble more than you can lose.
Yeah, I think the
all those
point
things.
of your comment is actually like, it's such a personal decision for everybody, right? Like that's what I take away is it's not advice at all, except that like everybody should just do their own thing, right? So all these things are a combination of some kind of speculation and some kind of personal value and interest. And I just think like what I thought about when you were saying this is that this element of wanting to own these things because you like them and believe in them is why we launched as a Clanker. It's like we wanted to be part of that ecosystem, right? It's that simple, right? Like it's like we wanted to be Clankers, just such a part of Farcaster and
Proxy, like, and going step back one step. Proxy also is a part of Farcaster. So that's why Clanker was trusted more. And, there's all these layers of trust that are being built up.
100%. And I think Farcaster is there are so many things happening right now that we can't even begin to analyze, like all the things that are worth analyzing. But I think that what you just brought up, like the kind of trust that Farcaster is good at facilitating, because there's real conversations happening and there's like optimism and people are building together. That kind of trust has, I believe that it has compounding effects in the things that people are building specifically within crypto, right? Because crypto is such a space where you should be distrustful of what a lot of people are doing, that like when you find things that have high trust, and Farcaster facilitates a lot of high trust people and projects, that lets you play with crypto primitives that might be very distrusted in other places, but you can do in a way where the trust factor is there. Like we see this all the time of people saying like, I'm not watching the price chart on Bracky. We also don't internally watch it, right? Because we just need to build a good thing with both Bracky and Bracky, right? This is sort of like, it is what it is. Like we're not sweating the price, but it's been fun to see major holders in our community who are like, I'm not worrying about the price chart because I know that this is a team that's been building here for a long time. They're working on the right thing and they're going to be building further, right? So it's like the chart is what it is, but like it is that feeling of like, we trust that this is an interesting and long-term project and not just like, a few people trying to like pump something, right? Like no one thinks we're trying to do that because they know us already, right? So like, that's fun because like it lets us, have the...
And then you'll have natural market ups and down with like, okay, March Madness, it's going to go up. Super Bowl, it might go up, like these moments, but they'll follow a natural like market trajectory as they should, which feels a little better than the let's pump it up all the way up, dump a ton of tokens and peace. I think there's some fun to be had in playing that PvP game. But also it's not long-term fun. It's not sustainable. It's not going to keep you warm at night, so to speak. But all the more power to you if you're able to hang out in those trenches and get there. So I think there's like a lot, and there's so many comments in the chat that are so good, but like seriously, we're already over time, and I'm like, it would be a whole entire show and a horror or a panel at
we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, like it could be a whole panel at FarCon, what you're talking about in here. So I think there's like, there's so much in here, but like what I'm excited about is seeing all the experimentation. The frame was incredible, like just such a smooth airdrop experience that I think that is going to be a game changer. I think there's so much to this community all kind of rallying around, like anyone who just likes March Madness kind of rallying around. But then there's also this opportunity to bring people in like me who could care less and is probably not going to watch one basketball game during this until we get to the Final Four. But like I get to be a part of it too.
So because, that's the final comment I'll say about the airdrop, because it's really worth saying is that like it may not be evident to people yet, right? But like Farcaster just built probably, the best direct advertising tool for a new token, right? So like you can get your token seen by high quality people who will be able to go and immediately engage with it if it does anything, right? So like if your token does anything inside of an experience, it can be in a frame. And so like for tokens that do things, this is like an incredible advertising product, and you're essentially paying the airdrop to do the advertisement, and the community benefits from it.
Oh,
and I wanted to
win. And just also like for the Bracky, right? Like it was, here's the airdrop, and it wasn't the like, how much is this worth? What free money did I get? It was, here's something, go play with it, go use it. Go and I do think that's what we saw. So does that, and it's like that's an awesome use case. It's not the free money, it's like free tokens. I'm like literally thinking arcade. Like,
here's something I can play with, even if I don't care about March Madness that much. Oh, you just gave me something that I can go play around with, and if I lose it, I don't care. If I gain, great. I get to play with friends and have some fun.
I literally have no idea how much the airdrop was worth.
I know.
I'm sure some people sold it. I didn't even look. I don't know. I have some Bracky. I was betting on the timeline, had fun. It was like, it made it fun.
Yep.
And I loved this, Tim. I think I wanted to highlight this before we wrap. With the Warp, this is from Tim. With the Warpcast Bracky airdrop, we did more requests to Bracky in 20-minute period than we did over the previous 2 months. Wow. Lots of new problems happen at the scale, and we need to debug them quickly. Games are playing, get paid if Bracky tweaks you. And this was in response to your bounty with 100 million Bracky bounty. Link to a bug you got, get 1 million Bracky. So this was great. And Dan pointed this out, like, sounds useful for getting people to use your app. So again, like, I think it's unlocking like the sort of overall value proposition of what we can do with Farcaster that we maybe can't do elsewhere. But I also just wanted to point this out really quick. This is Adrian's daughter, who is chairing at March Madness, and I love this picture. Such a good picture. Cassmore, Adrian.
I am such a proud mama. I have to say. Mama.
But also, I got to shout this out too. Go watch Goldie Hour. I don't know what's going on here, but it's freaking hilarious.
Goldie's trolling me because he like Creighton was playing Louisville and he was
totally trolling you. I love it. And you were trolling. You were kind of trolling Goose, I think, or.
No, I was creating camaraderie. We all went to UNC.
That's what it was. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Goose and Christopher all went to UNC, and
I love it.
Everybody was saying UNC was the last team in, and everybody was saying they shouldn't get in, and now they like blew out their first game, and like I'm just predicting how they're gonna make. They're gonna make their run. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I knew they should be in."
Right. Everyone's going to make that. Yeah. Everyone's going to claim, but you know what? Now you can prove it on chain.
Exactly.
You can prove it on chain that you were early. You were early to UNC. There you go. Instead of just like, saying you were, now you can prove it. Adrian, any last thoughts on this? We've been chatting for about an hour with Tim, and I honestly could do another hour. And also, maybe a chorus of Love Shack. That's a whole other thing.
It's a problem.
Karaoke Wednesday, FarCon. What do you think? Are you gonna be there yet? All right,
sure,
we're doing it. Adrian, go ahead.
It's just a problem when we invite friends on the show because we can just talk. We did not, Tim. The video of your karaoke, I don't think has been shared yet. We have it.
If it has, I haven't heard about it, but maybe
I don't think it's been shared.
It hasn't been shared. I think the person who took it seems to be busy, apparently.
I wonder why.
A lot of people or maybe they want to bury it as lore, but it was so good. So
welcome to the protocol. It was next level. It was next level. So I am expecting a reprise. One, when we do karaoke at FarCon, and two, we're reprising Love Shack, but with 2 microphones this time.
Yeah.
Or three if we can get a third for Erica. So, but she and I can share. We had a blast. That was so much fun. And December karaoke brunch.
I can't wait. That's like a highlight for FarCon.
It's going to be so fun. I'm looking forward to FarCon. We did a virtual walkthrough with Emma yesterday of the space. It's amazing. This is going to be incredible. We have a little mezzanine area for where we're going to be. And we're going to be like doing post interviews, pre and post of speakers and panels and chatting. And it's going to be incredible. So very excited for that. Very excited you're going to be there. I need a Bracky hat. So if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, we'll work on that. That'll be there for FarCon.
I would like that, please. And thank you. Because that's why I wore this though today, because I didn't have a Bracky hat. Coming up in about an hour, we're going to do a recap of Crypto the Game with the winner, Ted, and a whole bunch of other players. So please tune in.
Huge. That's huge.
It's going to be fun. And then we have Dylan coming on next Wednesday to talk more about the game.
I mean, look, Ted won. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, right? It was crazy.
Like, that is crazy.
And the other person, it was going back and forth between her and Akil, who was from FBI, which is the Farcaster builders of India.
Amazing. And he does product at Coop Records.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of folks who were in that, top range who were, on pretty big on Farcaster build or talking about giving back to the ecosystem and all that. So it was an incredible experience, and we're going to talk all about it. And then tonight we're playing poker. So this is another thing we need a bracket for down the road. Is a little poker. We'll have to have like a little somewhere, maybe next year when we run this again, we'll have a little bracket to go with.
That's where we want to get, is that like when you want to do that thing, you can just
that would be fun, because then we're streaming it. So it would be great for those who are watching to have a little skin in the game.
Yeah.
And be able to so we have a championship round next week. So maybe I'll try and talk with you a little more about that if we can make something happen. But if not, next time. This has been so fun. Any last thoughts, Tim, that you want to let people know about, or anything we missed that we should have covered?
No, I mean, look, we could do 5 times more, but I think, it just everything you guys mentioned. I think the bounty piece is great for us. Like, if you use Bracky and hit something that's weird, again, like making an agent that scaling an agent is hard, because you have to create an infrastructure that stays under the token limit while many people use it. So like Bracky works super well with a small number of people. With a lot of people, he's doing some very interesting things. So we have logs. So when you share a link to Bracky doing something wacky, when you share that link, we can go to that, check our logs, and figure out what's going on, and then improve it. So it's super, super helpful for us to not only hear about the times that are working well, but like I made this bounty because I don't want people to think they're offending us or being negative if they share something that's going wrong, because like that's the things that when we look at it and learn, we can go fix that piece, and then it will make it scalable.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
He has a mind of his own.
He has a mind of his own. He has a mind of his own. He does, literally. So awesome. So make sure you tag the team. You find a bounty, jump in that cast. And I'll see you all in about an hour with all the Farcasters, or a lot of the Farcasters, not all, but a bunch, 10 of the Farcasters who played Crypto the Game. And yeah, and Adrian, that's it. We'll be back on Monday. Who do we have for a guest on Monday? Do we have a guest on Monday? I don't remember anymore. I know Wednesday we have Dylan. We have Phil. We have Phil.
We have 3 guests next week. We're on Pacific friendly time, whatever, West Coast friendly time.
West Coast time.
Monday with Phil talking about amps. Wednesday with Dylan talking about Crypto the Game. Thursday with Shane talking about XMTP.
Awesome. Amazing.
The following Monday with Amelie talking about Alexandria Books on Chain Publishing.
Wow. Okay. So we've got a big week coming up.
About Bracky.
And we're going to be thinking about Bracky the whole time.
Yeah, Shane and I have been working on what we can do with XMTP and Bracky. It's super interesting.
Tim, who do you have in the finals?
In my final?
Yeah, in your bracket.
Adrian, I'm not even kidding you. I didn't do a bracket.
Founder mode. Is that founder mode? Were you busy?
I didn't watch my favorite team. I didn't do it. I just was like, I got to watch a couple of games yesterday. Here's the great thing about Bracky. Brackets are over once you submit, right?
Right.
So you can't do it.
Bracky's never over.
I can still form my opinion and do it later. So I'll let you all know who my top 2 team holdings are later.
Oh, right. Okay. And that's so interesting. A bet you have to put in ahead of time. Buying shares in a team, like you can make a bet at any time because the market is liquid.
But the market, you might have gotten a cheaper rate if you got in early. Yeah.
True. Exactly.
Pays to be early and right.
Pays to be early and right. All right, everyone. This has been a blast. Thank you, chat. You guys were on fire today. I don't know how I'm going to tag you all. You're amazing. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you, Bracky. Eventually, we have to give him some kind of voice changer where we can just interview him somewhere down the road.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I know. That's frightening, but it'll be fun. And so thanks, everyone. And we will see you in just about an hour, some of you. And then if not, we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.